Hello world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to codingscientist.com, the most excellent and exciting series about Raspberry Pi Pico. We are using Pico microcontroller for this entire series. This is a zero to hero series for anyone at the beginners level to start programming using MicroPython into the microcontroller called Raspberry Pico. Alright guys, so we are on lesson number 5 and let's take a look what we are going to see today. So in this particular lesson I am going to show you Pico machine.Pin shell command. So what is Pico machine.Pin shell command? So basically guys, let's take a quick look at our IDE, then you will understand what I'm trying to explain. So basically MicroPython adds a hardware specific module such as machine. Okay, machine is a hardware specific module, or you can call it as a library, okay, which is inbuilt within MicroPython that you can use to program your Pico. Now what it does, we will be creating pins, a machine.Pin, machine.object. It's an object to correspond with the onboard LED or any of the GPIO pins, 25 different GPIO pins, right? Now you might be wondering, what is machine pin? All right, that's interesting question. The pin objects, if you look into my Python basics, there is a parallel series which got finished couple of weeks back, a month back I think, using Jets and Nano. I showed you very clearly how the objects and classes and the functions in Python works. So basically we will be creating objects to access every pin of the microcontroller, right? We are using Pico, so this has got 40 different pins, and out of those 40 pins there are 25 GPIO pins. What is GPIO? It's a general purpose input output, where you will send a command, the microcontroller will detect from the external environment using sensors and send it back to you. So that's why it's called general purpose input output. There are a lot of other functions of GPIO which I will talk at a later stage. So basically machine pin, the pin objects are commonly associated with a physical pin, right? Physical pin of the microcontroller, which can basically drive an output voltage and read an input voltage. So what does that mean? You are going to write a Python code, a MicroPython code, to send an output voltage to any specific pin, the GPIO pins. Out of 40 pins there are 25 pins, and then read the input voltage you are receiving either through a sensor or motors you want to drive, or anything else, right? So that's how this entire communication between the microcontroller and the sensors works through MicroPython. MicroPython will work into the brain of the microcontroller, right? The pin class, pin will be defined as a class, okay, has methods, basically multiple methods to set the mode of the pin as in or out, in uppercase and out again in a uppercase, and the methods to get the set of digital logical level. So that's how the MicroPython works. Even in the general Pythonic language, that is how it works. The way to connect your board to the external world and control other components and features is through the GPIO pins only. Hence, the pins are available in the machine module. And what is that module? It's a library, and that is the machine.Pin. Okay, so we need to make sure that we import that first, and then we create the pin which is associated with your Pico's pins, number of pins. So if you go back to one of my previous videos, just 2 videos before, I showed you the pin layout, right? What pin number 1 to pin number 40, how to look at it. So generally it's something like this. So if you keep the USB on the top, there's a pin number 1 and the 40. So like this it works. You can map that with the diagram which I shared in the video, or it's available in the Google as well. So now let's look at it, guys. Let's try to build our first program to blink. In this particular exercise we will blink the onboard LED which is inbuilt within the Pico board. There's a very small LED, it's hardly invisible. Maybe we can glow it and find it out. And your Python code, what we are going to write, the MicroPython is going to trigger the LED as input and output, which is going to on and off. So let's see how to go about it. So let me just connect to my IDE is already open. So that's what we are going to do. We will use the shell command itself and we will take it forward from there. All right. Now let's say we need to first bring in the machine pin. So how do we do that? From machine, like this. You need to use from. The color will immediately change, right? Can you see that in the terminal? From machine import pin. Pin P should be in uppercase and then hit enter. Once you enter, nothing happens. Then what you need to say, LED. You are going to glow the LED. So what you are going to do with the LED? LED equals to pin number 25, which is connected to pin number 25, which is inbuilt pin. You can see it, which is your inbuilt LED is connected. Basically, internal circuit is connected to your pin number 25. So we are going to trigger that. Now what we need to do, pin, open parenthesis, pin number 25, comma, and then we need to say pin dot out. Pin dot out, that means we are sending the electrical pulse, and then hit enter button. You will come to the next row. What we need to say, LED, in lowercase, LED dot value, in parenthesis we need to say 1 means on. The LED should on. If you put 0, it will go off. Okay, now let's click enter, hit enter. There you go, the LED glows. I'll just share the board with you. I'll show what is happening on my microcontroller. I hope you guys can see this, right? There you go. Can you see the LED is glowing? So it's constantly glowing because the LED value is 1 right now. Can you see this? A green color LED here. Can you see this, guys? I hope it's clear on the video. So the LED is glowing pretty clear. Now what we can do is we can just try to play around here. I'll just keep this as it is so that you can see. We can try to play around with this program. Now I'm going to go back by clicking the upper one arrow above. Go back to the previous code. I'll modify this to 0 to make it on and off, and come out of that parenthesis and hit enter. There you go, the LED is off. Now let me go back again. I will hit 1, I will enter 1 and come out of the parenthesis, hit enter. The LED is on. So there you go, guys. So this is a simple logic how you are going to communicate with the external world of Pico using MicroPython. So that is how you are going to do all this exercise, guys. You are going to write the command and then, sorry, not the command, the MicroPython code, and send that through the terminal command, and that will get into your Pico and execute the code within Pico. You are not executing the MicroPython on your Windows machine, but it's getting executed on the microcontroller itself. You can see the LED is glowing. That means your MicroPython is running inside the Pico. So in going forward, we will write similar kind of codes, multiple codes. I'll show you multiple exercise and multiple projects we are going to create. It's going to get exciting, guys. Stay tuned. Goodbye.